here in Ocala. What do you think about this racetrack?
It's pretty cool. Just like on the way down here, everybody was exaggerating how dangerous it is coming down the mountains, and then it's like they forgot to put in turn 3, so you go 1 and 2 is awesome, and then you go straight into 4, and it's cool. And after they got a heavier track, it's actually a fun track. But like I said, everybody just was exaggerating how dangerous it is, and I mean I still got one more race. I'm sure I can still find out how dangerous it can be, but it's really fun, and I'm glad we came down, but wish we could have had the practice night because we're not looking too hot right now. But the first night was about the slickest track you'd ever see in the Midwest, and then last night was heavier than any track you'd see in the Midwest. So polar opposites, but by the end of the night we started getting a little bit faster. And last night we were going to make the A, but had a bleeder come out, and the right rear was down to 4 pounds on a heavy track. I was lucky I didn't roll it.
Setting the car up with, people in Knoxville have been seeing you park next to Guy Forbrook. What's he taught you over this last year?
Basically, has taught me to calm down and keep it simple. And the biggest thing is, I'm trying to learn how to set these cars up and everything, and he'll let me know if I'm stupid or not. And he won't tell me what to do because, towards the end of last year, I was getting to be a competitor. He lets me know that basically he wants to keep me safe. He doesn't want me to go do something stupid and hurt myself.
It's a tough crowd at Knoxville to race with those guys. What do you think about the competition here?
Just as tough. I mean, obviously there's probably more tough, but if this was a different track that I had a little more experience with, or we had an idea how to set up for it, it'd be more interesting. But yeah, we're blown out of the water right now. I think we got passed by the pace car.
Who's here with you?
Just anybody and everybody that could come and was tired of the cold. Joe Sembro, he races 305s at Knoxville. TJ Finlow, he's started trucking for us, and I guess mom wants us to come down here and race, so he got work off. And then Dad back here, he's fueling the motor, but he might be heading back to Iowa since Sawyer's looking like he's going to go to state wrestling this week. He won his first match today for districts by 1 point, I think, and if he wins the second one, he'll have a top seed for the state tournament. I think that one might be a little tough. They were kind of worried about him because he's getting the racing itch and was getting kind of tired of wrestling, but I think Danny and Forbrook have given him enough crap that it lit a fire under him to get to state, so he'll probably do good. I'm not too worried about him.
Talk about your brothers. What are they going to do this year at Knoxville?
I think Rager's planning on running full-time 410 at Knoxville all year. And then Sawyer, he'll run 360 the whole time. He's in shape for these sports, but he falls out of the seat in the features. I mean, he can run with the best of them in the 360s, but it's that last 5 to 10 laps he's struggling. But he's getting there, and I think he wants to knock off a couple wins before he starts moving up, which I should have done the same thing. But I think you'll see him in the 410 here and there, but he'll be full-time 360.
What was your goal coming here to Ocala? I mean, what did you want and what leave here with?
Well, I mean, especially with this caliber competition, I wanted to make the A every show, and then in the later nights, like after 2 or 3 nights, I wanted to be working towards the top 10s and whatnot. And I know we can. We're just a little slow on the learning and changing setups. So that was the biggest thing last night was we're used to Iowa where you can have a heavy track at the beginning and it'll dry out, and we were kind of expecting it to dry out, and this never did. If anything, it got heavier. So we just got to get a little faster at changing our setups and actually read the track instead of guessing what it's going to do.
What's your plans of racing this year?
We'll be full-time at Knoxville. I think Jackson's having like a 9-show series, and we'll hit most of that, if not all. And then anytime the Outlaws are close, and MOA or IRA, last year showed, I mean, we weren't quite as prepared last year as we are this year. So we got behind there when I started tearing stuff up, and But before I started tearing stuff up, we were getting real good, and we were consistently top 10, top 5s against the outstanding competition at Knoxville. So the more laps is really helping me out, and as long as I can keep my nose clean, we'll be racing 2 to 3 times every week.
What's your goals at Knoxville this year?
Top 5 in points, and well, I mean, I don't really have a whole season goal. The main thing is to make the A-Man Nationals. You know, whatever it takes to get that, that's what I want. Oh, the best moment in the sprint car was probably the front row challenge 3 or 4 years ago. That was a 360 race then, and we had to go against Brian Brown the first round. You know, Brian Brown was dominating the 360 world, and I think he might have won 410 points that year. So we had a full load of fuel and used tires that were just going to get us by in the feature, and we were ready to go feature racing, so we just went out and did our couple laps, but ended up beating him, and then ended up beating Tony Stewart the next round, which was pretty awesome, and then Tony Bruce the last round. So I mean, we knocked off some pretty big names with used tires, not changing anything, and just going out there to get it done, I guess. So that was probably the most fun I've ever had.
All right, what's the worst time in a sprint car?
Well, I might change that. Rager might have helped me out last year. The 360A main qualifier last year for the Nationals, you know, that was another thing. I got the motor at 4 o'clock, and I figured we were just going there to see if the motor would run for Sawyer or something. And I ended up getting second quick, but didn't make it out of the heat race. Had to come from the B. And in about 2 laps, I think Rager started 16th or 18th, and I was right behind him. And we sliced and diced our way. Everybody thought we were going to take each other out, but we sliced and diced our way up to, I think, like 10th and 11th. So that was probably about the most fun I've ever had in a car. The worst, I don't know, I've had plenty of worse times, but honestly, this week's probably getting right up there. We've been all right on equipment, but we're just about like Eldora. We can't get a hold of the track, and we're just clueless, and it's frustrating because I know we're better than this, but that's why we're down here. We want to beat the best, and we want to learn how to compete with them.
Any changes of the car from last year, same motor, chassis?
We got Bruce is kind of switching over to Eagles, but like this is a Big Max. He's still got 2 or 3 Maxims, and then I've got 1 or 2 Eagles. We're kind of a mutt of an operation. Whatever we can get and use, we'll use, and we got 3 different engine brands: the Ostrich, Parker, and Kistler, and I think they've all got their tracks that we like them at, and we're pretty happy. We just like everything else, we gotta keep learning and figure out which one works best where and when we want to use it. Just a lot of learning, and we're getting better at it.